But let's move on to Winchester here, David. What's been going on?
Well, Winchester City Council, like almost every city council in the entire UK, is working on its local area plan. Here we see a slide, Winchester District Local Plan 2020 to 2040. It's emerging like the creature from the Black Lagoon, it would appear. And you see here all the various aspects of this that they're building into their local area plan. And this governs the planning. This is essentially planning law in the local environment, in the local area. Planning says everything's permitted apart from what's prohibited, but the local plan then comes along and says actually the opposite, that everything's prohibited apart from what's allowed in the local plan. So this defines what will happen in terms of development in the locality up to 2040. So it's extremely important. And of course, carbon and CO2 is at the very heart of this. So you see we have here, again from Winchester City Council, net zero carbon targets and the evidence base they're relying on. And if we delve into that a little bit, we'll see that they're looking to take carbon emissions, what they term carbon emissions, kilograms of CO2. CO2 is not carbon, but never mind. Carbon emissions down for both semi-detached and detached houses to zero. And even on their calculations, you see the capital cost of those homes is going to go up by 5 or 6%. So that's not necessarily good news for people who want a roof over their heads. And we see also the other diagrams they're using, the route to net zero, which is very, very rapid. 80% of new homes by 2024 are meant to be net zero, and it's all meant to be done by 2030. And of course, we've got pyramidal and triangular diagrams, because we always do, all about net zero. So net zero is at the heart of this. The idea that CO2 is a pollutant is at the heart of it. The idea that CO2 is warming the atmosphere and this is catastrophic is at the heart of it. And of course, as you just reported there, Mike, this is not the case. And many very well-informed people across the scientific and general community are calling this out as false. Now, here we have a video from Winchester Council of one local man standing up and sitting down, in fact, in front of the committee and putting forward a case. He only had 3 minutes and he did it extremely well and he covered many vital points.
Mr. Morse.
Some of us find it disturbing that an alleged climate emergency are things that seem to underpin our local plan. The document dealing with the Council's carbon neutrality roadmap states the development of these as being atmospheric carbon dioxide, CO2 emissions, etc. Few brief words about CO2. It is a trace gas currently making up 0.04% of our atmosphere. 96% of that is contributed by nature, not by man. It is at an extremely low level historically on the planet, which is not good news for the planet or for nature, either way, since carbon dioxide is plant food in photosynthesis, and without it, not a single blade of grass would grow, nor the crops and foodstuffs, and not a single animal would live. There'd be no life on Earth. The climate has never been driven by CO2. On the contrary, CO2 levels in the atmosphere follow warming. They do not precede it or cause it. Your roadmap ignores all of this, and is presumably the basis on which planning decisions will be made, as it does the science, that there is no scientific evidence that there is no catastrophic global warming, let alone caused by CO2 or fossil fuels. For your information, the hottest decade of the last 100 years was the 1930s. Verify that yourselves. Climate changes naturally all the time, and human activity is largely irrelevant. Normal human activity. On this showing, there's no justification for the economic and human cost that any push for carbon net zero will cause, and there are no realistic alternative technologies like wind and solar cannot even remotely substitute for hydrocarbon fuels, oil and gas.
That is impossible. The roadmap also flags up favourably the creation of 15-minute cities, low traffic neighbourhoods and other measures restricting movement. These are potential threats to the livelihoods, well-being and ultimately even fundamental human liberties of the population. I would suggest to the Council that regardless of what government diktats, etc., may seem to impose upon by way of the PINS requirements, etc., it is their duty not to follow this destructive delusion. It is their duty and their responsibility to do what is in our interest. Your responsibility is to us, not to the government, the authorities, the United Nations, the IPCC, or any dubious source of that kind. The responsibilities as individuals, matter of conscience for all of you, is to us, to our human rights, liberties, and genuine well-being. Thank you very much, Councillor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morse. I think there are two schools of thought, and you obviously share a different one from the one that the City Council local plan holds at the current point. But thank you for your contribution. It's certainly worthwhile hearing. Thank you.
And wasn't that interesting? So we had CO2 is not a pollutant, it's plant food, and essentially Mr. Morse calling on the doctrine of the lesser magistrates and asking the council to defend the local community from harmful ideas from further afield. But at the very end, the council said there are two schools of thought. That wouldn't have been said a little while ago because there was only one. Only one could be sayable. The other one was an outrageous conspiracy theory. We're not hearing that anymore. That argument, that particular barrier to discussion has fallen.
Yes, okay, thank you, David. Now we'll be talking a little bit more about the doctrine of the lesser magistrate shortly with Mark, but before we get to that,